So Valve recently announced a new game that isn't a VR title. Shocking, I know, but it's not what you think. It's called Artifact, and it's based on the Dota 2 IP. It's going to be a digital card game supposedly akin to Hearthstone, but it'll share MOBA elements with Dota 2, so there will be things like NPCs and lanes or board sections to have the game stand out a little bit more from the crowded market that we're currently in, with a bunch, and I mean a bunch, of CCGs coming out. We have Gwent, we have Hearthstone, we have Plants vs. Zombies Heroes, we have Elder Scrolls, Legends, we have so many CCGs out on the market right now, so hopefully this game will shake it up a little bit and bring something new to the table. But that's not exactly what we're talking about today, is it? So people aren't exactly happy about this. At the time of recording, the Artifact teaser trailer has over 700,000 views and 30,000 dislikes on Valve's official Play Artifact channel, with only 3,600 likes. That's pretty crazy to see that on a video from Valve. And when Valve originally revealed the game at the Dota 2 International Championship Tournament, the reaction was also pretty similar there too. Take a look. So why are people so mad? After all, it's just a card game. Developers should be able to make whatever they want. If they want to make a card game, so be it. You don't have to play it. Now, I stand by all of that, but when you dig a bit deeper into it, it's easy to see why so many people are angry at Valve. So let me reiterate, I am really excited for Artifact. I really want to try it out. I can't wait if it has a mobile release. It's going to be really cool to play it on the toilet. But I think people are actually genuinely interested in the game. It's just that the reveal is poorly timed right now. So there are reasons as to why people are suspicious and downright angry over this game, and some of them are actually fairly valid, but the easiest reason, the quickest one to type out in the comment section of YouTube in outrage, is the fact that aside from the HTC Vive launch title, The Lab, Valve has not released the game since Dota 2, which was 4 years ago. Now, that's not to say Valve has been sitting on their asses. Dota 2 and CSGO get consistent in updates. Unfortunately, the communities for those games have become so toxic, it's hard for anyone to enjoy them anymore, but they actually have done work on the games they've released previously. Valve operates a lot differently from other game studios. Everything is literally on wheels over there. It's very easy to get up and move around to another game or project and help develop for it. The problem is that Valve has been pretty much memed into such high expectations that developers don't want to touch high-profile projects like Left 4 Dead 3 and Half-Life 3, hence why we get arguably safer stuff like Dota 2 and CSGO, and now Artifact. So people are a little annoyed that Valve has been kind of hiding from video games for a few years now, and some would honestly like to just hear them come out and say that they don't want to, or are too afraid to make the bigger titles that we all want. But there is another reason why people are so adamant towards Valve. Remember when I mentioned how toxic the Dota 2 and CSGO communities are right now? Well, Valve hasn't exactly been blameless in all of that. Certain content updates and even business practices like the whole crate system have helped make the communities more about mining for virtual items that are worth hundreds of dollars, rather than playing the game simply to just enjoy them. And this is a fear people have for Artifact. They are afraid that the game will be a cash grab first and a game second, like most games of its nature, assuming it's going to be a free-to-play mobile card game. Now, all of that crazy toxicity and crate business is primarily within Dota 2 and CSGO, and once again, to be fair to Valve, those games are still heavily played and updated regularly, but one game that is not getting as much love from Valve and is starting to turn really foul within its player base and even its developer promises is Team Fortress 2. Team Fortress 2 is a class-based multiplayer FPS that went free-to-play several years ago, and it has the item shop and randomized loot systems like Dota 2 and CSGO, where you can buy a key to open a box and hope you get an item that might be worth something. The problem with TF2 is that the player base is dying, and Valve's effort to update the game has been glacier pace, to say the least. A lot of people have been clamoring for a big update that's supposed to, among other things, overhaul the Pyro class. There's also a bunch of exploits in certain game modes that Valve has neglected to fix quickly, and it's getting to a point where people are quitting the game because it gets so frustrating with the exploits. And a lot of those people believe that the Artifact trailer announcement was meant to take the heat off the fact that the update might actually not come out or is taking forever, and it's just another excuse to, you know, take attention away from the update, and the silence is getting to people as the player base for TF2 is slowly dying off. I don't necessarily believe it's all a calculated move by Valve for that reason, but people are still angry. Valve isn't making games like they used to. Whatever games they do have been turned into cash cows. They still make good games and sometimes put out quality updates, but I think people are just sad that the Valve we all know and love is all but dead, and this trailer is just years of contempt and mistrust, all surfaced and concentrated into one reveal trailer. And it's not like Valve is working on a non-VR game that people are excited for, and this is just something from the B team to tie everyone over. A lot of game studios do stuff like that, but Valve isn't. They have nothing. It's not like, okay, Half-Life 3, but first, Artifact, and everyone's like, okay, Half-Life 3, but Artifact first, cool. It's just Artifact, and we actually don't even know a lot about Artifact. Like I said before, it might be a free-to-play card game. It is a card game. It is based off the Dota 2 IP. Don't know anything beyond that. Kind of was a really weird reveal trailer. Now, when it comes to this entire debacle and the reactions people have, are some being a bit unreasonable towards Valve and the actual game itself, and even acting a bit entitled? Yeah, a little bit. If Valve wants to make a card game, that's fine, and I'm still looking forward to trying it out, despite the market being a bit saturated right now. People are clamoring for something new, and Artifact might be new. However, you can't really blame people for being upset that a game development studio that has a legacy of games behind them like Portal, Half-Life, Counter-Strike, Team Fortress, and Left 4 Dead hasn't made a new big release in 4 years, and their newest game is some card game that is suspected of just being a cash grab on the currently saturated CCG market, while there are other games have been slowly killing themselves because of Valve's own poor business decisions, because they have been turning their games into cash cows. The only difference between Valve and other companies is that at least with Valve, there's genuine effort and good gameplay in their games. Making a good product for consumers first is how Valve built their business, and it just seems like they're kind of going backwards. I hope to God Artifact turns out to be a good game, and it gets the support it deserves if it's a good game. And I'm looking on the positive side of the future here. I don't think this is all some elaborate scheme to piss everyone off. I don't think it's an elaborate scheme to take heat off the fact that they haven't released the update for Team Fortress 2. I think people are overreacting a little bit, but when you see where it's all rooted, the years of just people waiting on Valve and like getting nothing, and Valve being incredibly silent about everything they do, it can honestly get pretty frustrating. Call that entitlement all you want, but they have the right to complain and take their business somewhere else. At the end of the day, they are still paying customers. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. I'm out.